They assume that we were taught democracy during colonial rule and that we somehow betrayed our education. That is not the case. That is not true at all. The colonial regime itself was not a democratic system. We are practicing colonial dictatorship. And so the colonial people really had no experience even of this so-called democracy that they were supposed to have inherited. They did not inherit anything of the sort. The colonial system in itself was the very antithesis of democracy. So no matter how long you stayed under it, you would not learn democracy. There was democracy in many parts of Africa before colonial rule came, you see. So to say, oh, let's keep ruling them until they learn democracy, it's really fraudulent.
Well, that's what is said in South Africa.
Yes, but of course to say that the South Africans are doing the right, let's support them since they're the only ones who understand democracy, comes down to not accepting that Africans are people. Because if you accept that Africans are people, you cannot possibly say that a handful of white people, a tiny minority of white people, should impose their will to the extent of depriving even elementary rights of self-expression. All the rights we know in the so-called democracies are denied, positively denied in this regime. And I say it is analogous to perhaps analogous to the Nazi regime in Germany. Now, for anybody to say that's the right thing for Africa, of course, shows that that person does not grant full humanity to Africans. And we know that there are such people, but we're not really going to listen to them, and they are not ultimately going to determine what happens in Africa.